Hi guys, today we're going to talk about this palette. So it is a Schminker palette and it came with 12 colours, and I think I'll see if I've got a video and link that below. But yeah, so I got this a few Christmases ago and I've kind of changed it a few times, and it has since become for a while I didn't want to use it because I just really loved it, and now it's kind of become the palette that sits on my desk, and I try out colours in it. So when I get new colours, I kind of pop them in here. Some of them have actually stayed, like the top line. I really just love those and use them all the time. So they are kind of staying in this palette, but it's kind of little colours that I just want to have access to and just be, you know, like it's just right there. So you'll see, like in older videos, there were pinks in the palette, some new different pinks, and it's kind of since changed to this kind of more blue and moody palette. So we will go through sort of the colours. You could see that a couple of them I was just dropping a little bit of water on so they could reactivate, and then the one that I just swatched is Wisteria from Little Reverie. It's a new shop to me. I really love how creamy and beautiful her colours are, and this one here is from Nibs Watercolors. You know that I love her shop, and so this is Copenhagen. It's one of my top favourites for this year. So I'm thinking of doing a video just where I put kind of my top favourites for the year, and so that will definitely be in it. I really love it. This one here is Madrid. It's another one from Nibs, and it's really beautiful. So we have talked about like iridescent colours and sparkle colours, and all of these are sparkle colours, but with my sort of current situation, I don't have my light here, so you can't see the sparkle from this angle, and I will kind of tilt it in a minute and show you that. So this one here is Rose Gold from Paint and Paper Studio. I really love her colours as well. So I think this is a collaboration between two ladies. So one formulated it and one makes them. So they're really beautiful colours. So hi Patty and Sandra if you're watching. This next one here, I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to flash this across the screen. These are from Julia Kallen, and we will actually talk about these in a little bit, and I'll show you how they came wrapped. These are new colours to me. It's a new shop, and I think that a few of you have recommended her shop to me, so I finally got a couple. I saw these kind of praline inspired ones that she did, and I really just wanted to try them out. They're really beautiful. So, and if you wanted to make something like this at home, you could drizzle a little bit of a different colour over the top and then pop like a little bit of the foiling on top to make these kind of really pretty, a little bit extra in the palette colours. You can see here what I mean. They're just really nice to have in the palette. So this is the Praline Sten, and I think the one before was Amortencia or something like that. So I'll try and flash them on the screen here. But this is kind of like a hematite violet, sort of mixed with just a different granulating brown, like a burnt umber or something like that. But they're colours that I use a lot of anyway. So you can see here, this is the Paint and Paper Studio Sun Gold. So I really, really love this one. I always get questions about this one when I use it in paintings as well. And so I'll link all these shops below. Her colours, like I said, so they're a collab between two ladies, and they're really lovely and super friendly. So you can see, like we talked about in the interference colours videos, that on the you know, without the light hitting it, you don't necessarily get that really beautiful colour, but as soon as the light hits it, you just get this amazing yellow gold sheen, very light, like a very pale gold. It's really pretty, like a flaxen colour or something, flaxen silk, like something, you know, fairy hair. But let's see, so the next one that I just did was Interference Blue from Daniel Smith, which I really love. And then this one is, I'm so behind here. This one here that I'm doing right now is the Magic Green, which I really love. And I especially love mixing this with Holbein Compose Green. It makes it such a beautiful colour. But then the one before that that I swatched was the Pacific Lagoon. You can see the beautiful blue purple shift in it, and I really, really love it. It's one of my favourites as well. So this palette does change over time, like I mentioned, and it probably will change from this. I'm really enjoying how it is right now, and it's kind of reminding me of the colours that I'm seeing over the New York skyline lately, but it will probably change. But I really like how it's all kind of working together. But the thing is, the top three on the right, so the ones from Paint and Paper Studio, the Sun Gold, the Magic Green and the Pacific Lagoon, they have been in the palette for quite a while, so they seem to stay there because I'm always just wanting them as a little extra something. No matter what palette I use, I find that I'm always reaching for them just to add a bit more sparkle. So the last thing I do here is just label everything, and I also wanted to say thank you to those of you who have purchased the handwriting printables from my shop lately, or anything from the shop. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I wanted to say thank you for that. It's always such a nice surprise, so I really appreciate it. And also anyone who has used the Jackson's links. I hopefully will have an order coming out soon. What I'd like, so you can see the beautiful colours there, I really, really love it. I actually am hoping to do a video where we compare a whole bunch of different gold gouaches and gold, ink pens and stuff like that, because I love the Winsor & Newton gold ink, but I want kind of a lighter gold. So I have a couple to try at the minute, but I want kind of a bit of a broader range so you can see a few different things. So that is what I'm working on at the minute behind the scenes as well. Okay, so this video I have kind of put a few different things together. This is the part of the video that is kind of my last video from my last house and kind of desk setup here. So you can see we've been going through the sketchbook series and kind of working through all these different things. We have, I think, about 4 or 5 more spreads to do. So those will be coming up as well. But we're going to use the back of the sketchbook to do some swatches today, and I'll just kind of show you that. But here we have the Julia Kallen little package that I arrived, and I really love how she includes these colour swatches of, so they're just printed, they're not like actual colour swatches, but they're really beautiful the way she's done it. And then you get this some little like dot samples attached on her business card, which are really lovely as well. So I know a few of you have recommended her shop over the last year, and I will try and get to all of your recommendations just as I can. So let's see. And if you have been really enjoying, sorry, my brother's music, I hope you can't hear that, but if you have been really enjoying a shop, you can leave it in the comments as well. So we all love discovering new shops and, colours that everyone is kind of recommending and enjoying. So here they are, the little Praline watercolors, and we're going to sort of take the sketchbook now and go to the back of it where I do the swatching, and we're just going to try these out. We have already swatched them, but I'm just kind of showing you. This is you know, how I use the back of the sketchbook. So it's just the first swatches, so that this isn't kind of the palette swatch. And you can see there up in the top right corner, that is the palette how it used to be. So I had some different pinks there where the blues now are, and I've moved out some of those other earth colours for the Praline ones. I'm not sure what colour she's drizzled on top of the one we were just swatching, not the purplish one, but the one we were just swatching, because when you mix that with the colour there, it's a really beautiful, soft, milky sort of caramel colour. So anyway, I think there are some sort of softer colours and different colours in her shop, but this is just what she had available at the time, so I thought I'd just try them out, and they're really lovely watercolours. And this is a really good example as well of finding something. So these aren't local to me, these are over in Europe, but you know, there's lots of different shops available now, and you know, hopefully there's some close to you or some that can ship to you that have the colours that you're looking for. So the other thing that I got is a couple of the colours of the Iron range. You know, I love her shop as well, and I wanted these ones to put in the Old Masters palette. So we have the Burnt Umber, the Hematite and Magnetite, which I think is actually magnetic, and then the Thulite, which is like a really muted, really pretty pink. I really love that. So it'll be kind of those kind of colours in that palette. I kind of had hoped to have that organised already this year, but everything, you know, you just take life as it comes. So yeah, this next shop here, so we talked about these, you know, in the palette swatches, the Wisteria and the, did I not even mention the Bibbity Bobbity Blue? So these are from her shop, and it's a really lovely shop. It's new to me, and they're super creamy and really nice to work with. So the Peach Pop there I just got, that's actually what first interested me in her shop, and there was only a dot card left, but you can see how nice the dot card is there on the feather. And yeah, I was really happy to find this. She's just done another shop update with some gorgeous looking ones like Lunar Flower and Lovely Lavender. They look really nice as well, so we'll see if there's any left when I can get them. But here's probably a really good place to mention as well that if you get watercolors and they're not coming out very easily of the packet like that, pop them in the freezer and leave them there for 15 or 20 minutes, and then you can open them and peel the top off, because sometimes it'll stick to it in shipping. And yeah, so rather than kind of losing some of the top of the watercolor there, you can just pop it in the freezer and then let that sort of sort of seal the watercolor back together, and then you'll be able to just carefully peel the foil wrapper off. So I'm thinking now, I didn't mention this, I don't know if I didn't swatch this in the beginning of the video there. So this is Bibbity Bobbity Blue. This is from Little Reverie Studios. It's in the palette. Okay, so I went back, yeah, I did not swatch it in the palette. So these videos are kind of done either over, you know, several weeks, or like some of this was done a few months ago. The voiceover is done like during the morning when I'm cooking and doing other things as well. So I try and make it as visually cohesive as possible, but sometimes, yeah, things just don't go well. But so this one here is the Wisteria. This is from Little Reverie Studios as well, and I really am obsessed with this one every time I use it. So I haven't actually used it in a painting yet, but I just really love the color shift. So it goes down as like this really nice sort of mauvey lavender color, and then it has this really beautiful shimmer in it. So the Bibbity Bobbity Blue there, you can see it's a bit like the Daniel Smith Lavender, I think. So I don't have that in my you can see here I'm just still adding to the Wisteria, but I don't have the, my sister's got the Daniel Smith lavender, so I'm going to have to swatch them sort of side by side and see how similar. I'm pretty sure they're pretty similar. You can see this peach pop here, I really love this one. But I know there have been questions about, you know, what if it's hard to get all these different colours and sort of keep up with this, and you know, you certainly don't have to do that. So I think there's two things. There's like, it's nice to support the, you know, shops. But the other thing is this can also serve as inspiration. So if you want to use the tubes and the colours that you have, you know, you can create these types of colours from things that you have. So like if you have like a blue or a cobalt blue or a smalt blue and white, you can squeeze a little bit of each into a half pan and mix that around, like either with a toothpick or, you know, just something like the end of your paintbrush that you can kind of wipe off, that won't sort of absorb too much of the paint. And you can create some of these things yourself as well. Like I've been thinking about using the smalt and white and some of the Daniel Smith interference blue and creating a little half pan of that. I've also been thinking, well, usually I really like to use Potter's Pink and Pearl White and create my own little half pan of that. I really love that colour. When we first started with watercolours, we were using the Reeves watercolors, so it's just like a box of like for under $20 you get, you know, 20 different colors or something like that, and we would just always mix those and create little color palettes like that as well. So, you know, wherever you're starting, you can mix really, you know, lovely colors and just really enjoy you know, creating with that. So you can see how or you know, support the shops if you can as well, which is also really important. So you can see here, this is the peach pop with the Sten, and it was creating this really beautiful kind of beigey, really, I don't know, I was really liking that. And then here is some different sort of blue and neutrals that I was trying to get some of those really nice kind of granulating greys with sort of a slight colour in it. So I was really liking those mixes as well. And then the last thing we're going to do here is just paint the palette. So I know I do this quite a bit, and there are several videos. So I think there's just one that says paint your palette, and then there's also one we did recently. It's the interference, interference colours, the sort of shimmer colours. One where we painted a palette there as well, but I think this is just something that I come back to. It's kind of like when I'm using a fountain pen, I'll just write out the alphabet if I'm kind of stuck and I just need to try and figure something out. And with this one, I really like just creating these little palettes and trying different mixes and just practicing, you know, painting. So you can see here, this is smalt and white, and there was some sort of sparkle in there, maybe interference blue or maybe pearl white. But yeah, so when I first kind of did this, I just called this the blues palette. this is also a really nice thing to try out if you're thinking about creating a palette and seeing if the colours work together. But the other thing is, you know, a lot of times we need to paint the same thing over and over again to hone our skills and to just learn and grow. So, you know, sometimes we do have beginners luck and you can sort of paint something really beautiful the first go, but often it takes, you know, quite a few tries. I've been watching this gardening channel, so her name is Y Garden, just with a Y, and I kind of treat myself to one of her videos every night. So I was watching the through the week. I'll link it below, and it's a really interesting series about learning to landscape your own garden and doing site analysis and all these kind of things. And at the end of the video, she shows you, she sort of comes up with a couple of different ways that you could landscape the garden depending on your needs and stuff. And at the end, she shows you how many kind of iterations that she went through before, you know, how many drafts she did before she came up with the final design. And so, yeah, I think it's really nice to revisit something that you have already tried. Maybe you weren't that happy with, you know, leave it for a while. I get this question quite a lot. And so if you go back and look at the video where I did the, the pansy. And so I show you in that video, I did the first one, I wasn't happy with it. I waited a year, I did another try, I still wasn't happy with it. I waited a year and then I did the video, and I'm quite liking how the video one ended up, but I still really like the other, you know, tries, you know, as far as you can see kind of where it came through and how you've improved and things like that. So never underestimate your growth, and even if it seems slow, if your progress, you know, seems like that was, you know, 2 years apart I did those, but it is, if you're working on it, it is slowly coming together. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves a break and just do something really easy and fun. So like, we've tried something, it didn't work out, let's just go back to having an enjoyable paint session and then sort of trying again, you know, the more difficult thing. Okay, so I have gone in and painted in the half pans here, and you could see that in the beginning there, with the sun gold and the magic green, you couldn't really see them, so I added in a little bit of lemon yellow and a bit of the composed green just to ground those a little bit. I think I might have added ultramarine purple or something in with the Pacific Lagoon as well, just to give that a little bit more colour. So we talked about this, we kind of painted something similar to this actually in the Interference Colours video, but I actually like the way this one came out, just with the gold, the gold part on the end and everything. This palette actually is like, it has a water flask as well, so you can just pop your water underneath there, and then it's got like a little thing you can attach to it to pour some water into, so it's sort of all contained within the one palette. So here I started this shadow and then I realized I didn't want a hard shadow, I wanted a soft shadow. So I tried to go back in and sort of blend that out, but that is one thing we talked about in the shadow series, where you can either create a wet on wet shadow and just wet the area and then put the pigment sort of closer to the object and let it soften out into the page a little bit, or you can do kind of create a hard edge to the shadow. So that's the one thing about this kind of whole process that I was a little bit I wish I had have thought, forward thought. So this is the interesting thing about where your kind of color choices come in for your paintings. You can see like the palette itself is a lot brighter than the painting. I think at the time I was doing the painting, I just wanted a more subdued and I don't know if refined is the right word, but not really distinguished. I don't know. I wanted something a little bit different in the painting. Then you can see the palette, it's really bright, really sparkly, and I was just trying to go for something a little bit more mellow, but certainly I could have gone back in. So where was I last? Okay, so we are now using the Winsor & Newton gold ink, and you can see here, like I normally use a dip pen, and I'm just using the Escoda Reserva #1, so just a smaller brush, and yeah, really enjoying that. And so what I was saying was, to create the mood here, like I've done the cool shadows, and I could have done like a brighter shadow or a different shadow, or a blue leaning shadow. So the way that you choose the colors will sort of impact the final piece. So I'm just going to leave you with a couple of the sort of shots of what has been inspiring this, or the color palette is kind of reminding me of these colors at the minute. So I will leave you with this, and I hope you have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you next week. Bye.